And we have tons and tons and tons of programs. Who's familiar somewhat with Boise Parks and Recreation? A couple, I know, familiar faces. Excellent. So feel free to interrupt me at any point. This is definitely a very casual presentation. So if you have questions, thoughts, anything, just let me know. But I like photos. I think they highlight our programs really well. So through Parks and Recreation, I work specifically with the Adaptive Recreation program. Emily and myself are the two full-time staff. But through the city, through Parks and Rec, we have programs for all ages, all abilities. So anyone's welcome to do our programs. Does need to be age appropriate, but anyone, so if someone has a disability and they're 10 years old and they want to do the 10-year-old dance class, they are more than welcome to do that. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, but we can provide one-on-one aids if that's needed. We can allow, if someone has an aid that knows the participant really well and that works better, we can do it that way. And we do it on a case-by-case basis with the aids we ask for. If we're providing someone, we can do sign language interpreters, aids. Sometimes it's just adaptive equipment's needed. So you just have to let us know a couple weeks ahead of time. Yes, if it's the day of, makes it really hard. We don't have someone just sitting in the office hanging out, unfortunately. I wish we did. Yes?
Would you prefer questions at the end or in the middle?
I don't care at all. Up to you guys.
I'm wondering, where do you find your inclusion assistants?
We have quite a few staff that work for us, and so we don't always hire them just to do the inclusion. Sometimes it's to lead our programs or do the inclusion. It kind of varies. Usually, summer's busier for inclusion services, depends. And so, you know, a lot of our staff, we obviously try and get people that have experience working with people with disabilities or that have experience teaching or working with youth, or, you know, they're interested, they want to be doing this job. And so currently most of our staff have worked in the school district or do work in the school district, have worked at different support agencies around town. We've had a couple people that are BSU students that are going into education, quite a few students, or social work or that type of thing. So that's typically where we get our staff from. Sadly, we're not able to offer them all 40 hours a week, so
right.
Sometimes they cycle through and or aren't available to work, you know, the entire camp. We try and, like, if someone needs an aid for a week-long camp, we try and have the same staff because then they get to know each other. But, you know, that's ideal. It's not always a reality, unfortunately. But yeah. So like I said, we do inclusion services, and then we also have programs that are specifically designed for individuals with disabilities. Everything from wheelchair rugby, designed for people that utilize wheelchairs to get around, to kind of more social or adaptive bike rides, you name it, whole variety. I've already talked about this. So obviously we try and focus on everyone's abilities and having a fun and obviously safe environment where we're providing, you know, a fun opportunity to recreate. We don't work on specific skills, you know, we don't have the paperwork side of things, which is awesome for me. We get to have fun, and obviously our job is first providing a safe, you know, environment. But different activities can focus on different skills. Like we have a cooking class, for example. So obviously we do work on teaching and learning. And I feel like a lot of people look at me like, you guys offer dinner and a movie. How is that educational? I'm like, well, guess what? A lot of people don't know how to order, stay on budget. All of these things are life skills. So while we don't specifically teach, we do. Appropriate table conversation. You guys all know. So we started way back when BSU as a club. It's changed and grown a ton since then. But Parks and Recreation kind of took over when they ran out of funding through BSU, and we've grown a ton since then and offered tons and tons and tons of more programs. Nowadays, we usually have something every day of the week except Sundays. Family's day. Mission statement. We also utilize a lot of volunteers for our different programs. For example, down here we've got our adaptive water skiing and tubing program that we do up at Lucky Peak. So all of our volunteers are bring out their boats, donate their time, that kind of thing. And we have bike rides where we have volunteers just to help make sure if we need one-on-one support with people, reminding for bike safety and things like that, we've got lots of fun. So, in addition to our staff, we're lucky to get that. So that was last year. Lots of different people do our programs. So our adventure programs, I kind of mentioned, open to anyone. It does not have to be a person who has a disability. Anyone's welcome to do our activities. We have a couple things like our whitewater rafting program so that we don't compete with guides and outfitters. That is just for individuals with disabilities plus a family, friend, whoever, if someone else wants to come along as well. And then our adventure seeker programs are designed for people with physical disabilities. So we do the wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby, a couple cycling trips, but goal ball, people with visual impairments. So we'll kind of cycle through some of these if you have questions about any of them. Just some photos of some of our different classes. We do a fitness class. Our ongoing classes, like I mentioned the cooking class before, fitness class, those will go fall through winter, spring, and then we take the summer off because we know getting down to a weekly class in the summer isn't always what people want to do.
What age is the cooking class for?
I believe it's 16 and up. I'm trying to remember. We also can be flexible on some of the ages. They're not always like a cut in stone thing. It's just generally speaking what we've found, and you'll notice flipping through our activity guide, a lot of it says, 14, 16 and up. And what we've found is often when we've offered the classes and activities for the younger ages, that they haven't gone. We haven't gotten enough interest in them. And so we're like, well, we can't keep offering something and canceling it on everyone. So we used to do like an adaptive dance class and drumming class that were like a youth and an adult. But that's where we're flexible, and especially, if someone wants to come with an adult with them. Anyhow, it's always case by case. We're definitely not cut in stone if this is the only way to do it. We're very flexible. So we have our bike rides. We have a whole fleet of adaptive bikes. I know a few people mentioned they came to the bike fairs. We do usually in the spring, although we may bring them back in the fall. I also meet all the time with people. If they're like, I can't ride a bike. There's no way. Well, we have a whole fleet. I can meet with you and say, hey, let's go look at our bikes, see what may or may not work. Because we do have a whole variety of them, and from hand cycles to recumbents. We even have a tandem recumbent trike. So it's really long, it's awesome, it's worked for a ton of different people. But here's a few of our other bike rides. But we ride along the Boise Greenbelt because that way it's nice and safe and away from cars, and it's beautiful. We have social clubs. Those are designed for adults, 18 and up, but we do all sorts of different things. They meet for 7 weeks in a row, and it's the same group of participants that get out and just do fun social things in the community. We take a look at what's going on in those 7 weeks and build from there.
Did you give the ages on that, or is that?
That one is 18 and up. There's a Friday night one is 18 to 30, I believe. And then the others are 18 and up for those. We do during the summer, and then winter break and spring break, we have a adventure camp is what it's listed in. But it's essentially like a teen camp. So ages, I believe it's 13 to 20. We kind of base it with the schools. But that summer camp does a very similar thing. They meet for a week and go and do different things out in the community. They went swimming today, we went to the zoo, went to Idaho City. Just fun recreation, and it's a camp, just like any other summer camp. Yes.
Have you tried them with younger kids?
The camps?
Yeah, the social clubs.
The social clubs we haven't. We've done the teen camp or the adventure camp. We've got away from teens. They're like, well, if you're 20, you're not a teenager.
Right.
But
do you think you might be trying? Yeah, because that would be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
even just like, I would not say like 5-year-olds, because
right.
I think like with a lot of 5-year-olds, I know there's still parallel play.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not very social.
Yeah.
So like 8, maybe 9 to
That's a lot.
I don't know if I would mix 8 and 9-year-olds with teenagers though, because that wouldn't necessarily be fair to the teenagers.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. I'll keep that in mind. We're doing like a monthly kind of thing, maybe. All right, I like it. And actually, Social Club came about because a parent said, I think you should do something like this. And I was like, great, we love that idea, we'll try it out. We started out with a one social club, now we have a Wednesday, Thursday, and a Friday social club. So we're always open to ideas, and I try and send out surveys to participants, but also, if you want to see something, let us know. We try, we have to plan very far in advance for this lovely activity guide. I'm already starting to work on the winter, believe it or not December, January. So our fall activity guide, everyone got one of those. So these come out in the newspaper. It has everything that Parks and Recreation offers, so for all ages. And I wish I had the fall one to hand to you because this one's basically done, but they told me it'd probably be in on Friday, which doesn't help. But if you put your email down or address, we can put one in the mail for you happily. And I'll email out to everyone, hey, the activity guide's available. Our registration starts next week for all of our fall programs. And fall, we consider September through December. So we put the activity guide out 3 times a year. So summer, fall, and then winter, spring are kind of lumped together. But that'll have all the activities that we offer. And then a few of you collected the newsletter. I wish I had a few more, but we ran out. But the newsletter, I email it out. I don't bombard you if I take your email, I promise. We send it out every 2 months, and it just highlights our adaptive program specifically. When we add a program or we hear about a cool event, we try and throw that in the newsletter and just help people know what's out there. But back to programs. Summer camp, just talked about that. We do a lot of different visual and performing arts. We have a specific art class. We also do, I know a few people did it, we can do group activities, and so I work with a ton of different agencies separate from what's in the activity guide to do, say, an art class for a group, or a drumming, or a bike ride, you name it. I'm really flexible. Snowshoeing, that was a really fun one for a lot of groups. So we can get out and take your group doing specific things separate from, you know, specifically an activity guide if you're interested. We do a ton of outdoor adventures. Hot Springs, this is, we work with a snowmobile club that takes us snowmobiling, snowshoeing. This is our camping trip.
Wow,
years
in
ago.
Stanley?
Yep, yep, so we'll do a Tuesday, Wednesday, come back Thursday camping trip.
Is it in a lodge or?
No, it's tent camping. We have all the big tents.
Nice.
Yep,
Wow.
yeah. This last couple of years, they've gone up to McCall and camped up there. Do rafting trips. These are a ton of fun. You can see we kind of run it as an oar boat, so participants can just hang on and have fun. You don't have to paddle or worry about listening to commands. It's just go have a fun time. We run the Maine and the Cabarton sections of the Payette, and then we also have the Boise River. We'll take our rafts down the Boise. We're actually doing that tomorrow, but it's a lot of fun, great way to get out and experience, you know, fun being on the water. Tubing and water skiing we talked about earlier. Train rides are incredibly popular. We'll take groups up on the Thunder Mountain line. They have tons of different themes. Wild West is coming up here shortly. Disc golf in the park. This has been a really popular one for groups as well. So they meet me for an hour and we'll learn about how to play disc golf and give it a try. Bowling clubs. So tons and tons and tons. You don't want to see all of them. We'll go on for all night long. We do a sports camp for youth with physical disabilities over the summer. We do multiple fundraisers. We've got a golf tournament coming up if anyone loves to golf. But with our fundraisers, that helps us buy some of the adaptive equipment. A lot of the adaptive bikes, for example, run about $3,000 a piece. So we have to get some fundraising in to purchase things like that. The wheelchairs cost money. We also utilize that to help provide some of the scholarships. So we offer scholarships to youth. Doesn't matter if you have a disability or not. Any youth can apply for a scholarship, or the family can. It's pretty simple. I brought some applications here if anyone wants to take one or save one. It's also available on our website. And then we offer scholarships for adults that have disabilities as well. And so all of our programs have a fee associated with them, but we are definitely a nonprofit, so we are not here to make money by any means. We're lucky with our program specifically, we don't have to recover 100%, which is why we're able to offer things at such a cheap price. But anyhow, so yeah.
So Sonya, I have a quick question. So I know that non-residents of Boise can, they just pay a little higher fee to
Yes.
participate, right? Do the other cities have similar programs, Nampa, Meridian?
Not to quite the extent that we do. I'll be honest, I don't know what exactly. I haven't done a ton of research lately. When I first started, I was like, okay, not much.
Yeah.
I know a lot of places will do accommodations because by law they're required to.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean they have the staff that have lots of experience. I don't know. That's by no means am I saying they don't, because I simply don't know. But yeah, anyone from anywhere is welcome to do our programs and apply for a scholarship. With our adaptive programs, there is not a non-resident fee. We got the city council to approve it because we said we are one of the larger providers for the valley, and so they said let's get rid of non-resident. So we're lucky; it's just a flat. This is the price, and then the scholarship. It's percentage based. So with the adult scholarship, it goes up to 75%. I believe the youth is a little bit higher than that, but I'm not an expert on the youth. But it is just based on income. So we really encourage people to apply for the scholarship and utilize it. If you already have a scholarship, now's the time to reapply. You have to reapply every year, and that keeps our records current, so when we get audited. We do some disability awareness assemblies in schools, very sports oriented, but the general message is, A, be nice to everyone. We all have differences, and let's include everyone in what we're doing. So they're really fun. If you know of an elementary school in Boise and Meridian that would benefit, give us a call. It's free to the school. And yeah. So Parks and Rec, all of the pools are accessible. Talk with them ahead of time. Usually that if you have an aide or a staff coming, that person doesn't have to pay the fee. I'm not an expert on the rules. But golf course has accessible docks at ponds. So scholarships, I talked about that. You do want to apply ahead of time, and the scholarship goes for an entire year. So you're not applying for a scholarship every activity you want to sign up for, because I know that is just a hassle. So it goes for the full year, and it really is a pretty simple application. The one for youth does require like your latest tax return or a pay stub. Just again, if we get audited, we need to show some documentation. But definitely, they're helpful. Please use them. I get a lot of people like, oh, well, we don't need it. I'm like, there's a lot going on. You have a lot of medical or whatever it happens to be. So apply. It's worthwhile to see if you'll qualify. I would say with our adult programs, at least 50% of people, if not more, utilize the scholarship, and that's awesome. We want people to. So with all of our activities, you have to sign up ahead of time. You can't just show up tomorrow and say, I want to go on the Boise River, because I don't have room for it in our car or all that. So planning ahead is important. A lot of our programs do fill up, which is a problem. It's a good problem, but we're trying to address it of offering more. And if something is full, I always encourage people to get on the waiting list. I try really hard to accommodate everyone, but if no one's on the waiting list, then I don't know that you're interested, and I can't call you. But just signing up, you can call us. But the first step is to look through their activities that are offered and say, hey, that art class sounds fun, or that bike ride, or whatever it happens to be. Like I mentioned, our fall guide will be out here shortly, and registration. With the registration, if you're a resident of Boise, you do get a week priority in terms of registration, and then non-residents register the following week. But you can call us. Payment is due at the time of registration, and we've found we need the money, otherwise people don't commit. So, but like I said, we do try and keep our costs as low as we possibly can. We're not here to make money, we're here to provide fun recreation activities for everybody. There you go. There's our contact information. Of course, feel free to call. I get a lot of people like, well, do I need to send someone with staff? Do they need this or that? And that's something that is just based on individual needs. If we have someone who has severe behavioral, where they're a risk of harming themselves or someone else, then we do ask that they come with a staff. And then we can arrange that based on whether or not the person needs to pay. If it's a train ride, well, they charge me for my ticket as well, so then we do have to charge for that kind of thing. But if it's an art class, well, that aide definitely does not need to pay for the art class because they're there to help out. So it is very case-by-case basis with the inclusions and just any of the adaptations. You know, just talk with us. If you're concerned, if you have questions, that's what we're here for. We really have found with a lot of people, it's simply kind of giving the instructor a heads up if it's not with our adaptive program specifically. And sometimes that's all that's needed. Sometimes an aide's needed. Totally varies, and we're not going to, again, make those blanket statements of yes or no. Everybody's an individual. We're all different, so we all need different things. But I know I jabbered on a lot. Questions? I can send it around the little clipboard if you're interested in getting on the newsletter. Like I said, I'm not going to bombard you with emails because nobody wants that. Send that around. Like I said, we'll send out a link to the activity guide when that's available, or let you know that it's available. And then the newsletter, we can also mail it if you don't like email. I understand. It looks way prettier by email. It's all color and laid out. But anyhow, lists all of our programs that we've got with our adaptive program. Has a little calendar, which we find helpful. But, you know, has all sorts of highlights. And again, when we add activities or let people know, hey, there's this cool thing happening, check it out, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
I did have another question.
Yes.
So, if you had, for an example, an external social group. So, we've been kind of working on some autistic adult social groups, very informally. But
Right.
say we had I don't know, 6 or 8 people who wanted to do something with you guys through your program. Is that something I would call you, coordinate?
Yes,
Okay.
please. We would love to. Yeah, like I said, I do tons of different things. Our biggest thing is let us know ahead when it's like, hey, next week we want to do this. I already have, like I said, all the fall through December planned out. Not to say every day is booked by any means, but it's laid out, so finding staff or myself to work is plan ahead. But no, we would love to work with the group, whether or not they want to do like our social club already is established, which is a whole mix. I mean, we have people with Down syndrome, with autism, with head injuries, you name it, whole mix of people that do the different social clubs. But yeah, we could definitely, if you said, hey, I want to do this with a group, we're all for that.
Okay, because we tried to organize like disc golf, and people were like, well, where do you get equipment, and how do I do this, and yeah, where do we
Use
meet?
us.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
then I know how to play it. I have the equipment, and we have a ton of different. We've got the bikes, disc golf. We do Dutch oven cooking class, an evening cooking class. You know, stuff like that. So use us, and we also have the entire city at our resources. So like for bocce ball, I did that the other evening with a group, and I said, well, I've got one set. Well, I pulled 3 others from. Who knew? The seniors had one and the teen group had one, you know, stuff like that. So we definitely have some resources at our hands where then you don't have to like go buy a bunch of money. And again, we're not here to make money. I think that group for our bocce was like $15 for the group. So we're trying to make it accessible and fun. So yeah, get people involved. But yes, please do. I would love to. I like that idea of the youth one. Would that be something you'd want to see on an evening? Because that's where we've struggled. If people have been like, we're booked.
Yeah.
I have too much going on. Which
An
again,
evening, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I would say evening or weekend.
Yeah, I know we've been doing like a youth one for youth with visual impairments, where they meet one Saturday a month, and part of it is it's with the National Federation for the Blind. They're doing a little bit of Braille, learning how to read Braille and doing that side, but then we just go and do like a 2-hour recreation activity. So we went to the zoo, we went tubing up at Boise Basin, I can't remember what else we've done, quite a few things. So that could be another way of, doing it as a monthly Saturday type of, or Sunday. We're open to Sundays, we just never get our programs to go on Sundays.
So on something like that, would the parents come along to help, or?
That is up to you
Okay.
guys, and that's where we're really flexible. With that youth one, we've done a couple. We've had it where kids get dropped off, and then we've had it like family day where everybody can participate. And so that would be, let's sit down and talk and see what you guys think would be the most successful. That's our game.
Okay.
Like goal is we want it to be successful, fun, everyone involved, and obviously if it was parents are coming as well, which is great, we lower our staff to participant ratio. We roughly keep it at 1 to 5, depending on the activity, depending on who's signed up, Again, we're not to say set in stone, but we try and keep it 1 to 5. If I have, the 10 people all live by themselves, well then maybe I'll have 12 people. But, it fluctuates. But yeah. Yeah.
So for your social group,
Mhm.
let's say someone signed up for the Wednesday and it wasn't a good fit.
Mhm.
So can they change to a different night then? Or is that pretty?
Usually not, because
Okay.
they're usually full. Those are our really popular ones. They all do basically the same activities. It's just a different group of 10, and we max it out at 10. So we have 2 staff. That one is definitely a 1 to 5 or lower if it doesn't fill up. We try and work on it. If it's not a good fit, let's figure out why it's not a good fit. How can we make it a better fit? Is it just personalities are clashing? Then, we need to figure that out. But, yeah, usually those are filling up, and so they're just
Oh, that makes sense.
packed. But we do a lot of Friday night programs and Saturday as well that are just one-day activities. Like we did Hawks baseball game and dinner. So we go out to dinner first as a group, socialize, hang out, and then go to dinner, or then go to the baseball game and sit together and watch that together. And so we do a ton of things throughout the year, and we just kind of base it seasonally. Like we do the mini golf. Well, obviously, middle of January, it's a little cold to do that. So that can be another good route. I've had a lot of people that are like, well, I'm not ready to sign up for that 7 weeks of social club yet. Let me try a couple of one-day activities first and see how that goes and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
So do the social clubs, is that like fall and then winter, spring, and summer?
We have those, they're 7 weeks, so we offer 2 in the fall, 2 in the winter, spring, and 1 over the summer. I think that's right. So usually there's a couple weeks in between each club type of thing. But yeah, I think definitely do 2 in the fall. So we just kind of base it on that 7 weeks and how we can fill them in and not drive our staff crazy by not having a week off ever. But yeah, a lot of our stuff you'll see there'll be like a small gap the first couple weeks of September where there's not a ton of programs, just because our registration starts mid-August and people don't always sign up early. So we're like, I'm tired of canceling stuff at the beginning of September because people aren't ready to sign up. So you'll see a few weeks here and there where there's maybe it slows down a little bit, or over December, obviously the week of Thanksgiving, we know people have other things going on. Trying to get down to a Parks and Rec class is not a priority. But I know some of the group things we've talked about. If you have a group of, usually try and keep it around 10. It does vary on what activity it is. With our pottery room, there's only so much room, so keep that maxed out at 10. Bike rides, but any of those group things, if you have a group of individuals specifically that want to do something, let us know. We have tons and tons of activities. We'd be happy to connect you with.
Quick question.
Yeah.
You might have already kind of said this. So if a child has a physical disability and he's maybe bound to a wheelchair, can they only participate in the adaptive
No.
programs?
like if it's a teen recum camp, for example, and they are going to different locations, let us know ahead. But we have, you know, during activities, say the social club, we provide the transportation. So you meet at the community center, and then we drive to the Hawks baseball game with our vehicles. So we have 15 passenger vans. We also have shuttle buses that can hold a wheelchair. So just letting us know ahead, that way we can make sure to make the appropriate accommodations and have that ready to go. But yeah, no, definitely.
Because I just noticed
Any
they were
program.
for older kids, like 12 and
Yeah,
older primarily,
yeah.
so I was like, oh,
And
that's
again, so a lot of it, I mean, in art class, it doesn't matter if you use a wheelchair, you know, that type of thing, but, or dance, it does not matter. So, yeah, we're very, just let us know. And we'll make sure we, you know, have the appropriate setup going on. But all of our buildings are accessible. Yeah. Definitely feel free to call me. I get a lot of people like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I don't know if this will work or not, just let me know, or email me if that works too. I
I'll
will
come down
be
and bring you
honest.
coffee and we'll have it.
In the summers, well, actually throughout the year, my schedule varies a ton because I lead a lot of these programs. We're lucky to have awesome staff, but I'm frequently out of the office, so if I didn't get back to you for a couple days, I will, I promise. Or if it's urgent, next day kind of thing, they'll track one of us down for sure. But, yeah.
Well, and I could give you a little testimonial for the younger kids. So my son Colton is 9 years old, and he's been doing play camp at Ivy Warren Park.
Excellent.
And we kind of attend as we can, as his behavior will allow it, because he's a pretty anxious guy. And but the staff, the main lead staff at that play camp has been the same for the past 3 years, and it's led by Jackie, she's a paraprofessional at the schools in the special ed classrooms during the school year. So she's kind of a perfect person to be taking care of my son, who is challenging. And she has trained Michaela, who's kind of the second in command. And so between those two, they've really it's been a great place for him to go.
Excellent.
Take him to the natatorium, and I can
Yeah.
just drop him off for a few hours.
Perfect. That's
Just
really good
this
to
last
hear.
Friday, I got my first phone call from him. They're like, I don't think he's gonna make it. He's having a tough day. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be down. And there was some throwing of a backpack and whatnot. But you know, the nice part, they're not freaking out. They're like,
Yeah,
we just figured
definitely.
to call you. So it's,
Good. I'm glad to hear that. With the play camps, actually, that's where we have our most one-on-one aids throughout the summer, is during the play camps. And so, you know, we just plan that ahead, and we've had a few staff that have worked 40 hours a week all summer, and they were thrilled. But definitely, there's that resource. Just let us know early so we can make sure we have good staff that can work.
So if, can their CSWs, their community support workers, come along as well to help?
And that depends on the activity.
Okay.
I don't know how it works with the play camps. I would imagine it would be fine. Emily's more of the expert for that one specifically. With our adaptive programs, absolutely.
Okay.
And again, it is just kind of a touch base with us. What I say for a lot of people that say, oh, my agency says I have to have a staff. I'm like, interesting, because you didn't have one 2 years ago. But, you know, it's how it goes, and I know that's how companies get paid, or it's just needed. No problem. Just call us when you're ready to sign up and say, hey, how do we go about this? Because for some things, like I said, mentioned, a train ride, we're not going to charge if we don't have to charge. But,
Right.
you know, we
Right.
get charged for the ticket. Boise Hawks, well, they're not just going to let anybody walk
Right.
through the door.
Right.
But, you know, we'll figure that out with you, and whether it be, hey,
So
the
it's
staff
just
is
like
going to
sending-
drive on their own,
Right.
or if we're like, okay, they're going to be riding in the car because we're going all the way up to Idaho City, it makes no sense for them to follow us in the car. You know, just we base it case by case and activity by activity. We keep trying to like set up, this is how it is, and it's just silly because then we're like, no, well, we don't need to. We can save them money on this or that. You know, we're here to make money. So, yeah, just call us before you sign up, and that helps us. We run into a lot of times like, oh, well, my staff's coming. Like, but I don't have a spot in the car anymore because I didn't know that. So just let us know ahead. But yeah, we're usually all for that because usually, you know, that staff, if someone needs a lot of assistance or, you know, they know the behaviors better than
Right,
we do.
right.
So
they just step in
great,
when
that's
needed
even more helpful. But it's also, you know, like our art class, we had 4 aides. Well, they hung out in the hall, and then if they were needed, they said, hey, you know, doors open and all that. But it just depends. Everyone's different, and what they need is totally different. And with a lot of people, we've had people come with a staff or a family member the first few times, and they're like, we got this. They don't, you know, it's not needed. The person's comfortable. Again, everyone's different, so we want to work with you. I guess is the big message. But yeah. Our activity guide, like I said, should be here at the end of the week. Fingers crossed. So I'll email you. I'll bring that around. But thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. And please, you know, feel free to share our stuff. When we email out the newsletter, forward it to anyone you think would be interested, or put me in touch and I'll add them to our list or anything like that. But bless you.
Yeah, we'll share that with we'll post this presentation on our YouTube channel.
Wonderful.
Share that information.
Perfect.